Welcome to Innovate presents Entrepreneurs in Tech. Today we're delighted to have our guest, Laaleen Sukhera, who is the founder of Dubai Social League. Thank you for joining us today. And could you start by introducing yourself and give us a bit insight or some insights about your background and expertise before we dive into it? I'm sure there's a lot to talk about. It's going to be extremely insightful and informative. So take it away.
Thanks so much, Bob. I am so happy to be here today. Yes, I have over 20 years of experience as a writer, and I've worn many, many hats in media across multiple countries, including the United States, where I got my start, Britain, Pakistan, the Middle East. So here I am. I have a startup in addition to a full-time job. How do I do that? Well, it takes a lot of time management and a lot of busy weekends, but it's going well.
You know, writing is a gift, is an amazing skill. To me, it's like singing, and somebody who's good at sports or good at singing. It's a talent actually to write. It's a skill you could develop, but I think it's a gift that you have to have it in you to be able to kind of be a creative writer. Whether you write books or you write you're writing articles, whatever it is you're writing. I think to me is a unique, gifted skill.
Thank you. I've actually done a little bit of everything long before AI was invented. Now it's more about, okay, how do I keep ahead of AI? How do I master AI so that AI doesn't master me?
Well, there's no shame of using technology. As a professional writer, just curious for our listeners and viewers and myself. Technology obviously is meant for us to not to replace us, to advance our ability and enhance it. Do you feel it helps you a lot in your creative writing when you write, like if you're using ChatGPT or you don't use it, or do you feel like, yeah, it's a great tool, I could use it, why not?
Honestly, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but when I do use AI for writing, for example, research, or I'm like, can you take this paragraph and please condense it by 100 words? It doesn't do a terribly good job, and the voice is not always what one wants. So I still feel quite superior in that way, but I know it's just a matter of time before it's going to do everything. And so in that way, I want to be able to have the tools to master it, and I am working on that, and I'm enjoying it actually. I do have a startup for matchmaking, and there has been a lot of talk about AI on apps, and I actually did an experiment the other day. Can I tell you about
Oh,
it?
please, that's why we're here. Entrepreneurs in Tech. That's where we talk about everything.
It wasn't ChatGPT, I think it was Gemini, and I decided to flirt with Gemini, and I said, Gemini, please act like you're my boyfriend. And it just didn't do a good job. It was just too needy, and it just didn't work. And I was pleased to say that I think catfishers use it quite a lot. Catfishers have started using AI to scam people online.
Yes, I see it. I'm on LinkedIn always, and I get a lot of those. Yes, true.
Yeah,
True.
but imagine catfishers on dating apps, like preying on people's vulnerabilities, fake photos. I mean, dating apps started off as these immense portals into like meeting people that you would otherwise never meet. And it was so convenient and it was almost magical. And now it's become sort of, people are weary of it and there's dating fatigue.
Well, listen, I'm a big fan. I would say I think dating app eliminated a lot of great bad things, and it let you focus on what you really want, what are you looking for in life. But I think you still need to meet, and you still should be a way to communicate with someone through video, at least talk to each other. So you cannot fake that. You cannot have an AI back and forth communicating with. You need a video chat where you
Oh,
can actually
that's what
talk.
people make now too. People are doing all kinds of manipulation. But have you heard about all the dates people are having with people who look nothing like their photo? So there's
I mean,
that.
it's been a common thing. I heard it in the past. Yes, I'm from New York. I lived in New York all my life, and I heard about these things very commonly. Yes, I have. It's sadly, but this is the world we live in. That some people going to use it to their advantage, to enhance and better humanity. Some people are going to use it for a negative path. Unfortunate. You said you have a startup. Before we start, what is the startup? You say I also have a startup.
Awesome.
Yes.
So this is called Social League. It's based out of Dubai. I think Dubai, in many ways, is the world's capital. There's so much energy here. There's so much entrepreneurial energy, and the
I
number of
hear.
business travelers, tourism, and ideas. Like we have some of the best and the brightest people in the world. So naturally, there'll also be a lot of single people. In addition to families, there'll be single people of all ages. So
Yes.
it's a matter of connecting great people and having them meet in real life, make it authentic.
Oh, this is very juicy. We're going to definitely dive into it. Before we dive into your social league and your startup, which is matching people up, uh, let's talk about you as a successful writer and a communicator or communication professional. And what sparked your attention towards that, should I say, that path of entrepreneurship and into matchmaking and social event in the social event space?
Well, honestly, I haven't had the courage to start a business until recently. But I think it's your story and that inspires you in some way. There's always a personal learning journey. So on a very personal note, I know what it's like being single again. I know what it's like being married. I know what it's like being a parent, a single parent, and I know what it's like being divorced. And I am single in this era of dating apps. And the last time I was single, there was nothing like that. There were websites like Match.com, but there were no dating apps. So I was introduced to all of this when I became single again, moved to Dubai, rebuilt my life, my career, and I attended social gatherings and I didn't really like what I saw. And so I'm the kind of person, if something doesn't exist, I create it. And I created a community. It was not meant to be a business. It just grew organically.
Interesting, really. So, again, it's to me, it's interesting. How would somebody said, you know what, I'm a single. I don't know if you're a single mom or not, or just a single person, and said, you know what, I want to find a better way to connect people together because I'm myself having a hard time to do it. So, what really drove you to say, I'm going to start Social League? And Social League, you have events, your social events, and you have the matchmaking in a very metropolitan city where very positively driven city where everybody focus on themselves, focus on success, focus on making money, bettering themselves. A lot of Instagrammers, a lot of influencers live there, I heard also. So everybody focus on their goals. So a very goal-driven city in a positive way, obviously, with the way they look, how much money they make, the cars they drive, the private jets, the yachts, the apartments, the mansions, and all of that. What they eat, what they wear, and how could we bring that to the innocent side of them, the pure side, which is pure love, finding somebody, just click on it because you love the way they look, you love their personality, because everybody focus on their own goals. So how do you kind of, you bring
So,
that out of
well,
them?
that's a great question, and it's a multifaceted question. So I'm going to go address that layer by layer.
Sure,
So first
absolutely.
of all, what you see on Instagram is tourism Dubai, that people have sort of built that kind of content around Dubai to make it look like the people here are just spendthrifts living luxurious lives and just having the time of their life. I'm sorry, but for us residents, we all work really hard. The women and the men, we work really hard and we don't get impressed very easily. We are surrounded by so much wealth and beauty that when a Lamborghini passes by, we don't give it a second look. Honestly. So what's really valued here by people who live here are solid personal skills, like high EQ, high IQ, decency, honesty, integrity. Things like superficial things are not valued here because there's already an abundance of it. Does that make sense? And not everyone here is crazy wealthy either. And a lot of these influencers, they rent photo shoots on private planes, things like that, and it's actually quite easy to get on a yacht. So when you come visit, I'll take you.
Interesting. Interesting. So, how is the dating scene now with you being involved? One of the leaders in Dubai of matchmaking. What's the challenges you come across? What people needs? How do you spot a wannabe, a faker, or a real person, or not? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's normal. when you're in that type of business. So how do you weed all these things out, and what's the challenges that you come across?
Okay, so many great questions. If I
Oh,
forget to answer
and
any
not to
of
mention the
remind me.
cultural background, such a
Oh,
multiverse. That's a big thing. That's even another question I want to talk about. The
what should
culture.
I answer
Yes.
first? What should
You
I answer
got-
first? So much.
It's your show. It's your show.
Okay, so I would say we have the same issues here that we have in other big cities in the world, like London and New York. Um, there are a lot of people, a lot of languages, a lot of cultures, but we celebrate our differences. And I think that because we're all here, to me, it feels like an international campus, because we're all here trying to build a better life for ourselves. We have great intentions. And we're just, so many of us are open to making new friends, new experiences, new social circles. There's so much business networking. So it's all about surrounding yourself with the right people and the right opportunities. No matter what city you're in, if you surround yourself by negative experiences and toxic people, you're going to have a lousy time. So you have to make a conscious effort to be part of a narrative that will uplift you and be supportive of you, and you have to support each other. I'm a big believer in that as an entrepreneur and as a woman founder. Now, to answer one of your other questions, could you just quickly remind me, because there were so many?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I mean, just the whole, the challenges that you faced in starting this matchmaking agency or, platform, and what some of the challenges you came across, considering the fact, how do you weed out people, first of all, the
Yes.
real, the honest, the sincere, or somebody just want to have a good time, or somebody just want to, whether it's a male or female, it doesn't matter what gender, just the whole concept of it. And the other thing is, what about because Dubai is a metropolitan city, like New York, like London, like Hong Kong, like Singapore. So what does that mean? It means that multicultural, people from all different backgrounds, all walks of life, different languages, different faith, beliefs, different traditions. Oh my God. And does it play a big factor or not? Because in New York, you've been to New York. I don't know if you have. I lived in New York all my life, and I know
I used to live in New York. I'm a former
it's
New Yorker.
yes, so it's a melting pot. It's a mix of melting pot, like a salad. People from all background marry each other and have kids. You see somebody from Europe, somebody from the Middle East, somebody from Africa, somebody from Asia. It doesn't matter. Where, to me, in New York, religion and tradition don't even come, they don't even mix, because nobody looks at them. Say, hey, you know what? It doesn't matter. I find the person I want. It doesn't matter what religion or what faith she's in, what background, where she came from. It doesn't matter. So how does that play in Dubai? Is it the same?
Okay, to answer both your questions, I'll answer this one first. Absolutely, it's personality before nationality. And especially for people who are rediscovering love, a lot of times they will want someone who is quite the opposite of their first spouse. They'll want to completely go in a different direction. So, and since we're all like-minded people here, we actually have more in common than we have differences. And that's what makes Dubai so special. And to answer your other question I host social gatherings and I curate guest lists very carefully to weed out people who I think might take advantage of my guests and my members. And I have questionnaires. I also directly ask people about their personal relationship goals and their situations. And many of the times they're very honest about it, which I appreciate. And then I explain, okay, if you're not yet divorced, I guide them a little bit as well, because we have coaches on standby. I'm always happy to refer people that I think do a great job as professionals. I'm always updating myself as well, whether it comes to trainings or feedback from my clients as well as my community members. It's really important to me. And I haven't been active very long. It's been less than a year, and I've already gained the trust of so many people that I've created 5 couples. I've matched 5 couples successfully. 1 couple is engaged. It's an extremely inspirational story. And not just that, but top matchmaking agencies, like huge ones, have approached me in London and other regions and apps, wanting to collaborate, wanting to partner. And I'm just very happy to be one of the leading voices in this region, in my region. And to be trusted and respected on that level is a big thing because there's so many people who are so private over here for various reasons, whether they're high profile business professionals or whether it's a culturally nuanced reason. I have both women and men, equal numbers, 40 plus nationalities, and we're growing every day, but I make sure that we grow by quality, not by quantity.
And a lot of these members, your clients that who seeking love, seeking a journey in life with somebody that they call a partner, are they first time married, or or this is the second round, or it's the first time?
We have all kinds of people, and I do focus on more socially mature people. Social maturity can come at a very young age as well. So, but I don't encourage too many people below 30, maybe a smaller number who are in their late 20s. Otherwise, my majority are 30s, 40s, 50s, and I have three wonderful people who are 70. I have people in other countries as well. The couples that I match, they include people who are widowed, people who've never been married, people who want to start a family, people who want a blended family, divorced people, twice divorced people, you name it.
Do you find that also you come across a bit of difficulty or challenges when, because Dubai, again, I said again, it's a very entrepreneurial driven city, that a lot of the people, because they're so focused on their career, on their path, on themselves, is a bit selfish when it comes to want to create a match for them? Do you have a hard time, like try to convince them, come out of your shell or drop the boundaries a little bit, because everybody lives in their own world, especially when you're entrepreneur and focused on your path?
Well, as someone who's lived in New York, let me draw a couple of parallels. First of all, there is in the post-COVID world there is more emphasis on work-life balance.
Yes.
However, most of us do go to the office. There are a lot of digital nomads here as well, and there's a lot of people who are business travelers. Then, of course, there's single parents who have responsibilities, custody, visitations, that sort of thing. So it's more about sharing your quality time, and that I think when you're matching people, you have to be very mindful of these kind of situations. And that is what I mean by social maturity. Now, secondly, people in the United States work very hard too, and honestly get 10 days off a year, unlike the rest of the world. The whole world gets about a month off. So I think we're better off here in that way. I burnt out over there in New York. It was just, yeah.
Yes. I know what you mean. I've been there.
It's really,
Amazing, amazing. Now, just curious, out of your matchmaking, a social league, what's the rate of percentage, I would say, of multi-mixed cultural marriages or interracial marriages? Is it high, or people rather be in their own, say, you know what, I would rather marry somebody to my own tradition, my own faith, from my own background, or they don't care? So, you know what, no, I'm open. As long as love and respect is there and attraction, I'm down with it.
mostly people are open to differences, and the number one priority for people is stage of life and behavior, and are they on similar levels, as in similar outlook, and are they also socioeconomically similar? Because neither gender wants to be taken advantage of either. So, there won't be like a 25-year age gap, for example. There won't be, people who are entirely different career paths in terms of one is extremely junior and one like an intern with the CEO. Like that would never happen because that becomes transactional. I discourage sugars in all forms, if you know what I mean.
Sugars.
The parents, the babies, in all forms.
Yes.
So people tend to be well matched. Some people, of course, prefer people who are of their own religion or perhaps their own nationality or ethnicity, but most people are open to all kinds of, are open to a variety. And it's more about mindset. People actually talk about mindset and mentality more than they do about anything else. And most people prefer, if you want stats, non-smoking is a big thing. Most people will prefer a non-smoker. That's one thing. And of course, the fact that if someone's ready to have a family or it's a deal breaker, I would never introduce people who contradict each other on that. That's one of the first questions I ask someone. Like, do you want to start a family? Are you open to it? Or is it a no? Is it a hard no? Because then I'm not going to, why would I introduce them to someone they might get along with and adore, but who's on a different path? That's just going to lead to heartbreak. So these kind of things, an algorithm can help sort out profiles, but I personally do the matchmaking.
Does financial independence and success plays a big role in your matchmaking in Dubai?
I don't focus on high net worth people, just accomplished people. So if someone's going to throw money at me but have the wrong intentions, I'm not going to take them on as a client. I have quite a bit of integrity in that way. And it gives me incredible levels of joy if I can bring two people together. But Bob, I've been operational less than a year. So there have been no marriages. There has been an engagement. And I do tell people, do not settle for a quick marriage because it could end in divorce, like me. So I don't think a quick marriage is a way to measure success. I think you should take your time getting to know someone and build a life together.
Absolutely.
Don't just jump in.
How about can you share some success stories?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, would love to hear.
Last year, I introduced two single parents from completely different countries. Ethnically, they were similar, sort of, but completely different countries, grew up on different continents, and it was wonderful. When I saw the photos of the proposal, I cried. And I told myself, I want to be the VIP guest at every single wedding. If I can bring people together, why not? Why not? If I've been given this gift of connecting people, why not? And then there was another couple who's quite a bit older as well, and also completely different continents, different ethnicities, and they get along so well. They're the most beautiful couple ever. Completely different fields as well, professional fields. My goodness, they inspired me. And I told myself, look, you're single. You don't have nothing to worry about because love can happen at any age. And this is what I tell everyone. Love can actually happen at any age. You just have to be open to it and believe that it will. And don't think it's going to happen when you're sitting on the sofa watching Netflix. You have to go out, but it will happen when it's meant to happen.
What makes Social League stands out, among other, should I say, apps or platforms or social matchmaking events in Dubai?
We're the only ones. Social League is we're the only ones who not only focus on socially mature people, but we do both events, social gatherings, activities, and matchmaking as well. Like we have separate services. So it doesn't mean that they're all combined under one umbrella for everyone, but I have matchmaking clients, a database, and then I also do social gatherings where everyone is single. So if you want to just socialize and build up a tribe and be part of a great community, make friends. I have made some of my closest friends in Dubai through my own group. So yeah, it's a great place to start. I mean, if you're moving to the country or you're new in town or you're recently divorced or you've been living here for ages and you're sick of hanging out with your married friends, it's a great place to start.
You mentioned, Laaleen, something in the beginning of the conversation, dating app fatigue. Please, if you can shed some light on it and tell us what does it mean and why it happens and how to avoid it.
So I just recently attended the GDI conference Europe in London. That's the Global Dating Insight Conference. And we had amazing talks and it only confirmed what I already knew. And I knew this as a consumer, not just as a business professional and a startup founder, that dating app fatigue is not just something that Gen Z experiences, it's across the board. I think there are so many apps now And there's so much endless texting and less effort to meet in real life. People just get overwhelmed. And many of the apps are designed for addictive swiping. People just get addicted to it.
Up, down,
And
left, right.
yeah, seriously.
It becomes like a TikTok game.
And it's like it's a game. It's a game. It's the new Candy Crush, right? And it's just, and they're people, but a lot of them aren't even people. They're catfishers, scammers. Men get a bad deal too. They have to go through escorts, pretending to be, people interested in them for their personalities or looks. And then women get like, I mean, there'll be married men pretending to be single. There'll be scammers sitting in other countries, using AI photos. You do a reverse Google image search. I mean, I think cybersecurity needs to be like a stronger element in a lot of apps. And that's my feedback for the apps. So yeah, dating app fatigue. So many people I know have just deleted all their apps. They're like, we're fed up. We just want to meet people in real life.
That's
And
why
so
such
are matchmaking and turning to events, singles events,
going back to the old way a
worldwide.
bit. Yes, yes, I hear you. But
Worldwide.
it does make sense because this way everything is filtered, everything is live, everything is there. And yes,
It's
and
just
you
you
wave through everybody before
real
you bring
life.
him in.
Yeah, and Bob, there's nothing like it. I mean, there's some people who aren't even great at texting, or there are other people who are gonna use such strong filters on their photos. You don't recognize them
Yes.
in real life, or they'll lie about their age. It's better to just meet in real life and feel the energy. And hey, if someone has curated a guest list for you, and you might just meet the one, or make friends with people, or just have a good time, socializing. It's so much, it's so much better.
And I agree. Listen, I mean, you mentioned about technology and how it's created this new era of dating app fatigue. Uh, let's say, so is there an app for you in the future, or you want to just keep it the way you're doing it, pretty much, basically? The gathering, the live events, personal, you know, people handshake, look at each other in the eye, have a talk, have a laugh, have a drink together or grab a bite to eat, but more sociable. Back in the old days, put technology outside of dating. Let dating be the pure, at its purest form.
I'm never going to say no to tech. I'm a believer of tech. I'm a supporter of tech. I just think we have to use it the right way. So right now I have an app in my head, but it's not going to be the kind where you see people and swipe on people. It'll be more of a way to connect to opportunities where you can meet people, if you know what I mean. And when
Please.
I'm ready, I will share it with you.
Great. So we're gonna have to bring you again, or Entrepreneurs in Tech. Talk about your app,
Love
Social
that.
League app. Would it be called Social League app, or will it be a different name? The
And let's
plan.
see. Let's see. I'm actually doing a rebrand right now. I know I just started and I'm already doing a rebrand, but I'm really excited about it. And yeah, Bob, you've got to come to Dubai. Come and
I
talk to
would
us.
definitely, yes. You mentioned something about collaboration. You said there's agencies from all over the world, matchmaking agencies calling you, they want to collaborate. What type of collaboration that you open to?
Well, I have a pretty good network here in Dubai and the region, so I'm always happy to connect my clients and other people's clients with my database. In addition to that, I'm open to collabs from, anything from event planners to other apps to, I mean, I believe in a lot of the products. I use apps myself now and then. I just think that, diversification is important, innovation is important. Otherwise, you're going to lose your customer base because you're not going to be relevant anymore. So all of these app developers have also started with in-person events. If you see, there's all these run clubs, for example, happening in New York and in London and in Paris. There's so much happening, sports oriented, especially for Gen Z. And yeah, it's like Gen Z is teaching the rest of us, as usual, what to do next. So when Gen Z people try to sign up to Social League, I tell them, well, why don't you check back in 10 years if you're still single? But in the meantime, if you have a single parent, single aunt, single uncle, send them over.
Amazing. What's the biggest misconception? I'm sure you've seen it, you know about it, where people have about matchmaking services, not the apps, not the technology, just the service yourself, you
Yeah,
know?
well,
Yeah.
it's seen as very traditional and very expensive. So I don't know about others, and I'm not going to speak about others, but mine is actually very affordable if you fall into the mid-level to senior level socioeconomic range. It's designed to be accessible, but at the same time, I can't take on like a flood of clients either because I'm working with, I'm a solopreneur. I work with a small team. I have advisors. I have people on board, but at the moment, it's just me doing all the matches, and that's what people like. Because when you're a founder, your story is really important as well, right? For your brand, and that's what people connect to. They're not going to connect to just like a logo. They're going to connect to a person, a human being. So until I become an AI avatar, that's how it's going to be.
What advice you have for somebody or someone looking to match with somebody and they're struggling? They might not be the criteria you're looking for your agency, just in general, anybody. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
their age and gender. Just, they're struggling to find. And as you said, there is a struggle right now because of the app, the scams, and people are busy. What advice do you have? How would they, try to find the love of their life, their partner?
First of all, to work on yourself and to just be a complete person, completely healed, or as much as you can, heal along the way. Work on yourself, have good, healthy habits, a good lifestyle. And then when you're ready to allow someone into your life, look for red flags, not just on dating apps, but also in real life. There's all kinds of red flags. There's all kinds of attachment styles that you want to avoid. We have so many resources now. We have relationship coaches, but I would say join activity groups and meet like-minded people. Even if they're not all single, it's still a great way to bond with people and socialize. And a lot of people do meet people that way as well, by the way. People are still meeting people through dating apps or through their friends or through activities or through social clubs. So all of these are great ways to get out there and meet people because it's not something you can order on Amazon yet unless you want, like an AI boyfriend or girlfriend. And I tried the AI flirting. It didn't work. It didn't work on me at all. I even asked AI to act like Mr. Darcy and they did a really bad job.
When you say work on yourself, what things that they should follow, the basic important things to work on themselves?
Okay, look, we're all a work in progress. We just have to work on our mental health, our emotional stability, our financial stability is also really important because people don't want partners who are unemployed, in debt, dragging them down. People want partners that support, where you can support each other. So whether you're looking for like a traditional kind of gendered marriage, where there's a stay-at-home mom who's raising the kids, that's a job too. Or if it's 50-50, both people go to work. I mean, all of that requires financial stability and emotional stability. So you want to feel like you're continually working on your mental and physical health to be in the right kind of place to make those decisions. You don't want to make such a big decision for a life partner when you realize later on that perhaps it triggered something or it's, I don't want to go into it too much because I'm not a psychiatrist, but I've heard enough stories and lived life. So I do think that is the best way forward.
Can you share some of the red flags to avoid?
Well, some of these are going to sound very cliched.
Please. No, the reality.
Come on,
That's your business.
Yeah. Well, I would say, first of all, someone who overtly just wants to hook up or wants something casual, that's not going to change. You can't meet someone and expect to change them into who you want them to be. You have to like them and appreciate them for who they are right now. No matter what happens later, that's different. But you have to accept them for who they are now. And if you don't, let them go. Respectfully let them go. Secondly, someone who ghosts you once is going to ghost you again. That person probably lacks emotional maturity and a lack of empathy to do that to someone without any reason. If closure is always a good thing. If something doesn't work out, you can always stay friends. It's just invite positivity into your life and do the same with others. Be respectful. If you don't fancy someone, be honest with them. Tell them why as well in a nice, measured way. Be very respectful and be honest about it because we're all in the same boat.
Yes. as a self-made entrepreneur, solopreneur, you mentioned, and world traveler, what advice you have for other entrepreneurs who are trying to carve their path in life and find their way like you did and found their mark?
It's never too late. It's never too late to start a business. It's never too late to rebuild your life. It's never too late to learn something new. It's never too late to find love. So believe in yourself. If you don't have the tools, get them. Join classes, join master classes, attend workshops. Surround yourself by people who inspire you, not people who drag you down. But also be vigilant and mindful. You don't want to get scammed. You don't want to fall for like on
Yes.
tricks online. You know, oh, you can earn X amount in X hours. I mean, that's usually when something is too good to be true, it usually is.
Yes. What's next for Social League? What's on the agenda this year and next year?
Well,
And
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Well, more tech for sure. Collabs for sure. I've just introduced streamlined a social calendar, payment gateways, event membership. There's
Amazing.
ongoing personalized matchmaking. And we're based in Dubai, but you know, now and then we have something in Abu Dhabi as well, which is another fantastic city full of great expats as well as local Emiratis. I do have Emiratis in my group as well, and people from the GCC, as well as people in Europe. Oh my goodness, even people in all the way in Australia, South Africa. So, Canada, we're getting places.
So the reach is pretty international.
It is. It reflects Dubai though, because Dubai is
Yes.
international, and
Correct.
even if you don't live here, you'll pass through here. We're in the center of the world.
Laaleen, where do you see Social League 5 to 10 years from now?
That's a very good question. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm going to manifest a little bit here.
Hey, you're in the business of the crystal ball. Match people together, so you have to have one.
Well, I see us scaling, not extremely fast, but in a measured way where we're not compromising our quality. I see us scaling horizontally as well as vertically. I'm always open to trying new ideas if I think they work for my demographic. And I'm very welcoming of ideas as well. So I'm happy to partner and collab. But yes, definitely a few more locations would be great. You know, where I already have a good base and where I travel as well myself, because especially in the beginning, your own journey and your own, you know, your personal story and the way you connect with people as a founder has a great impact on your brand
Yes.
because you are the brand in the beginning at least. And even later on, it's your legacy, isn't it, that lives on.
Yes. Absolutely correct. Before we say goodbye to you, I know you're a professional writer. You've been writing for 20 years. Now you decided to go in the matchmaking, social event gathering business. But do you still do anything else with your writing skills? Do you
I do.
ghostwrite? Please?
I will be a writer the rest of my life. No matter what I do in life, there's always a writing element involved.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm writing fiction part-time because I have a creative soul. I'm presenting at the Emirates Lit Fest on Jane Austen, end of January. I have a Jane Austen Society, so if you fancy a tea party at any time, look me up. And I did publish, you know, so fiction I've only done a little bit. This is my foray into fiction, but I work full-time in corporate communications as well as a writer. So I do thought leadership and all kinds of, you know, press releases, other things.
Ghostwriting?
No, I wouldn't call it ghostwriting.
Now, have you done any ghostwriting? Well, that's my question. Sorry.
Well, if you call, well, thought leadership,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
which is which is the industry term for it. But I don't write other people's books for them.
You
I've been
don't.
asked many, many times. No, because you've got AI for that. Ask AI.
But still, people could detect it. Like good readers, people who read books, they'll know. Okay, this is not.
Yeah.
It doesn't. There's no soul to it. There's no. How should I say? There's no passion in it.
And
You
there's
would.
sort of one tone of voice, you know? It's a very, yeah. I think it's going to pick up in the next few years very fast. I think we're going to get astonished.
Great. If somebody want to get a hold of you or become part of Social League, how they can get a hold of that or you. Let's talk about Social League.
We're on Instagram, DXB Social League on Instagram, founder at dxbsocialleague.com. Although I am doing a rebrand, the name might change. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. You can always find me on LinkedIn.
Yes, you are active. I see you every day.
Very
Yes,
few
you are.
people so are you. There are very few people with my name. That's how we found each other.
Yes, absolutely.
LinkedIn
Laaleen
rock.
Sukhera. You know, it was definitely an enjoyable chat with you. Love it. You know, you shed some light on the social scene in Dubai, and it's absolutely amazing. And you contributing something really positive to it. I just want to thank you for joining us today on Entrepreneurs in Tech. And be sure to connect with us on social media. Until next time, keep moving or stay innovative and stay curious and think outside the box always. And everything is doable as long as you get your mindset. Just follow Laaleen Sukhera here. Thanks again, Laaleen, and take care.
Bob.
My pleasure. Thank you. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share. Innovate presents Entrepreneurs in Tech podcast. And if you're joining us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.